Hello everyone. Well, earlier this evening, earlier this day, I did see Blade Runner 2049, and I can say after all how long myself was waiting for it, it more than lives up to the hype for me. In fact, it exceeded my expectations in almost every way. Even as someone who, as a point a long time ago, was my first script review, my 300th episode, as I recall. It's one of my favorite science fiction ever, the original 1982 film, but this one, it definitely managed not only live up to the expectations set by its senior, but also carve out its own path for being a great film on its own. Since, as the title implies, it's 30 years have passed since the eventual original film. I'm not gonna spoil how too much. I'm definitely gonna try and keep this as spoiler as I can. And if you want to find out more details, by all means, go see the movie because it's great. After the events of the first film, Tyrell Corporation collapsed, and what was left was bought out by the Wallace Corporation, and their leader, Nyander, played by Jared Leto, managed to not only advance technology, Nexus 6, now getting away from Nexus 8 and beyond, and also has other ventures such as mining protein and as well as advanced farming techniques, given how the world actually looks off a lot worse than it did in the original film, which, in social political terms, to be certain, that's so not a stretch. In that sense, that's hostile attitudes towards replicants a lot more common. They had hints in the original one, but regardless of what they are, being a machine is definitely something like very hard to live with. So not really a stretch anymore. Forgive me how I'm sitting. And anyway, it turns out that amidst of this, a replicant known as K, played by Ryan Gosling, seeks to investigate the true intentions of Wallace as replicants, coming across one Nexus 8, played by Dave Bautista, and as well as eventually meeting Deckard, who played Harrison Ford, plays well in the original film. And I honestly say, that I definitely am all for Harrison Ford wanting to revisit his earlier roles. He did with Han Solo already. He wants to with Indiana Jones, and also, I actually had no objection to him maybe cameoing the new Amazon Jack Ryan show, but that's not important right now. That's when. And I can honestly say that, that in the 35 years since the original film came out, what I had to say about what means to be human machine age and the state of the world is still a bit as relevant as then as it is now, if not a bit more so. And this film usually builds on that. Given how it works in the story, that's much like the original film. There are many scenes that have little or no dialogue or sound of any kind, yet just like before, I was totally invested as a viewer, or a sense. I like that quality that just gives me time to think about materials being presented and also see how it affects me personally as a fan of the medium, of film, as well as the genre of science fiction. I have not read the original short story that the film was based on, but I will have to. And oh yes, even though I have not seen Prisoners Arrival yet, but I heard they were good. Heard that this film easily improves on visual splendor's predecessor and also managed to maintain the distinct look and feel that made it so memorable in the first place. A sense. And so, we have, I like how, of course, he uses CGI when he has to, but he also keeps many effects practical, such as the sets and the props, as well as a lot of the action in the film was pretty actual stuntmen, not just CGI doubles. Since there are occasions where I had to do it, since the whole scene in this old club, which has flickering images of Elvis Presley, both in his prime as well as when he passed on that on, and I think they also used who's the event spot behind the previous film wonderfully. So it definitely helps immensely if you've seen it. And I've actually watched the final cut twice on Sci-Fi. Hey, the past couple of days when I get ready for this review and this film, and and even after 30 years, even though they kept all the motifs the same, the way they depicted the A25 Los Angeles absolutely stunning, honey, since the sets had switched to display everything from these wonderlands of neon, fiberglass, as as holographic women the size across the building, as well as the area outside being, even if the radiation may have gone down from some unknown cataclysm between the events of the films, that it's still, the area of San Diego is basically been reduced to a massive garbage dump where people are just scrounging whatever parts they can find for electronics just to make a living, get their next meal. And I'll definitely let them know that it's also a very dark film. I mean, the original one was too, but it definitely follows up on that, and to a point where someone from Forbes claimed that would have played better if it were like a shorter, more more optimistic film, so other people could go. Well, I bear this person no ill will, but I personally would not have wanted the people to compromise the intensity or the tone of the film in order to please more audiences, and that's why even this whole advertiser-friendly thing that's going on right now, I've just only had to delete one video that was no longer relevant, and I had to disable some formats on, but above all, I've always managed to put my integrity as a creator above trying to keep my content like that. I mean, and since even though I'm just getting offside here, I'll just say that I usually try to follow the instructions of the letter. The spirit, however, was tend to get muddled in that regard, or sense. But I actually kind of like how they kept the spirit of the original title, also managing to give it new perspective. I mean, in sense, and I mean every a shot or line, no matter how insignificant, has a purpose in the film, which that's the details. Are one of the things I enjoy the most. I mean, the sound design, Hans Zimmer's score, is just wonderful, combining much like Van just did in the original film, combination of electronics and classical music, and I think even a major plot point involves Holmes K's love for old standards from the 1960s, and also how Wallace is by far one of the most unsettling villains as I've seen any movie, and that's saying a lot given how many of us have seen him later. He has always been a big method actor no matter what film he's in, and since the character was actually, from what I gather, in some of the other material put out that he was born blind, but these cyber enhancements as well as little cameras granted him the ability to see and creep people out both in and out of the film. Since he actually, I gather he's so committed to the part, he acted blind even when the cameras were rolling on set. And this is definitely a film which could potentially be every bit as influential and beloved of its senior. And since I can say, that as opposed to other cyberpunk films, as well as follow-ups to beloved ones, like say, there are other ones like the RoboCop, Total Recall version, as well as, especially in my case, New Ghost in the Shell, kind of all failed to live up to the standards set by their predecessors. It's given how impressive they were and how their remakes failed to recapture that same magic, but this one succeeds in every area that film and those films failed in. Since, especially in the case of the last one, the way it deals with the characters, the story, as well as how it presents the material and retains the spirit of its senior. It not only makes a great follow up to the 1982 film, but it also makes a better live action close to showing like the actual one earlier this year. I mean, since critical reception is also thankfully really positive. Since was one of those things I was kind of worried about, but now it's leveled at 89% as of this recording, and people I've talked to have seen it seem to have really enjoyed it. Since, there are only a couple people both coming and leaving the theater as well as like that I saw online that didn't seem to care for it. And as for it's like with Leonard Moulton, I have no hard feelings towards his saying in the since he actually didn't care for the original either. But again, so another offside here. Some of my favorite episodes of MSTVK, he actually once kind of made fun of how when like with Laser Blast, he actually considered that apparently to be objectively better than films such as On the Wharf and Sophie's Choice. And he actually got a little dig in a Gorgo later on where he liked the film, but he actually admitted to put his editor in intensive care. That's important right now. Editing in this film is fantastic. Roger Deakins' cinematography is astounding. It's definitely going to get some awards nominations on technical achievements alone. And regarding how well it will do financially, or how it'll be remembered in 35 years, at which point, even in 30 years, well, I will be much older. I don't know where I'll be then. But that and will definitely remains to be seen. However, I can honestly say that even in a year which has only seen like a couple films or so that I haven't really cared for, or and here and many ones I've enjoyed in the process, as this is honestly, even though we still have like about 3 months or so to go, my favorite film of the year so far. So I give this as a spectacular 4 out of 4, and then I'm gonna do my riff of some on the 3 coming attractions I saw there. Okay, so just 3 previews this time. I'm gonna do the anticipation and interest in sending the order. So first off, Thor Ragnarok. That's Hawk Sense. This looks like a lot of fun. That every time I see that trailer, I just get every as pumped as Thor is in the movie when I see his Incredible Hulk. Hulk bust through there. I think I was originally planning on doing that video for trying to make more of a March, but I think I'll just do it just cause before I go see Ragnarok, so to make sure I'll be able to do it, which is fine. Fine, since I'll also clear out some of my other Prime Marvel content as well. So I definitely want to do remaining films I have not done yet, at least in the France for the Infinity War next year. And I'm gonna try and keep that one more quiet before I go see it. Pitch Perfect 3, don't care, I did not see the other 2, and I have no interest in the film. Most of the actresses seem fine, but I actually never really got the whole about show choir. And honestly, guys, don't dismiss their medium. That's my job. In that sense. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Anna Kendrick, she's not my type per se. Hey, not nearly as much as someone like Evangeline Lilly but and also Rebel Wilson. She's okay. She's just like whenever a studio needs like a younger, cheaper Melissa McCarthy, she's basically your lady for that one. And last, and definitely my opinion least, Daddy's Home 2. I'm sorry, guys. I honestly did not care the first one. I didn't think I needed a sequel. Apparently, enough people saw it that Paramount disagreed. And since it's one thing we have two of my favorite actors, as I know can be good in other films, star in one that's not appealing at all, but then you actually double that number without doubling the jokes I would find entertaining from that concept. I mean, it's one thing when you have John Lithgow in there, who I know has been funny on TV as well as in other movies he's done, since and Mel Gibson is also another one that's kind of tricky given how his recent antics off camera have kind of been in 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 a bit sketch. However, I do still want to see Hacksaw Ridge because it looked really good but really intense. And since he does definitely have quite a bit of skill as a director, even with his controversies, if you pardon the parlance there. And one plus side of this, how he has been getting more easier to buy as a villain, like when he played Voss and Machete Kills, but since and also it's coming out like I was surprised that the first message able to turn a profit after getting released in the middle of Star Wars Fever, even 2015, but it's coming up in between Thor Ragnarok and Justice League, which are both movies I'm more interested in seeing, by the way, which may imply that maybe this one, having second thoughts about, but I think I really said enough for now. I really encourage you to see this film, if you have great, if you haven't yet, please do so at least once on what you think. Have other stuff planned for this month, including some other Pokemon kind of horror films, but I am definitely have something else in mind behind soon, so I was trying to work around my schooling, and I will definitely see you all later. Hater.